I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, I want to show you how to set up a wah tone on the Axe-Fx 3, FM9 or FM3 without using an expression pedal. Now, I have probably forgotten my expression pedal to rehearsals and to gigs more times than I care to admit. It's one of the reasons now why I have a dedicated pedal board with my FM3 and an expression pedal on it. However, I've also had times where I have forgotten or lost the TRS cable that connects the expression pedal to the FM3, FM9 or FC controller with an Axe-Fx 3. So you do need these workarounds sometimes. I'm on the Axe-Fx 3 at the moment. I've got an FC12 plugged in, and let's just hear the amp tone to get started. I've got a Les Paul plugged straight in. I'm using the Plexi 50 watt 6CA7 model. I have got my go-to LT TV Mix 7 cab IR. I also have some of these factory full res IRs dialed in here. The level's at -16 on here, so it's just giving them a little bit. I've got a parametric EQ with quite a big low boost on here. I might talk about this in a future video. Let me know if you're interested. And of course, the London Plate reverb, probably my favorite reverb for crunchy tones. We get this. That sounds and feels so good to play. I love this Plexi model in here. Let's do this. Let's add a wah right near the start of the chain over here. And I guess the most basic way to get a wah, doing the wah thing, would be to attach an LFO to the control parameter here. And we would also need to assign the wah bypass to a foot switch. So you will need to use at least one foot switch for all of these. Or I guess you could have the wah bypass state turned on and off by a particular scene. For now, I'm just going to click it on. So let's do this. Let's right click the control parameter over here and let's set the source as LFO 1A. We won't do anything else, and we'll go to the controllers tab, and under the LFO tab you can see it's currently set as a sine wave LFO with the rate at 1 Hertz. So let's actually have a listen to what this does. That's pretty cool. I mean, most non-guitar players would hear that and they would just think of that iconic wah sound. That is totally fine. You could experiment with using different shapes on here. For example, you could use something like a saw wave on here, and you could use a little bit of the Judy cycle to kind of tilt it. Furthermore, we could have a look at that, see how it's kind of spinning around. That's kind of cool. Let's do this. That doesn't really sound like something you would do with a real wah though. What I was going to say is you could actually right click in here and increase the damping factor on it a little bit. That's kind of interesting. Or you could use a triangle shape or the A-stable shape. They work really, really well. Let's actually try the A-stable because it's kind of in between like a triangle and a sine. So that works really well. Probably my favorite LFO type though is to use the random LFO in here. I like to bring the rate up above 2 Hertz in here, and then we are going to be quite judicious with the attack and release. I'm going to bring them up above 120 milliseconds. So something like this. What this is doing is just kind of smoothing out any transitions as that random LFO jumps around. I think this is probably the most natural sounding LFO wah you can get in the box. The one thing that this is missing for me, I use an expression pedal all the time, is that kind of feel of having my foot on something. So this is my favorite workaround. What we're going to do here is we are going to attach a control switch to this parameter in here. I'm going to use control switch number 4, and the reason I'm doing that is on my FC controller, I have a control switch layout over here. So I think it is something like layout number 6 or 7, probably number 8. Okay, number 8, you can see that I've got this particular foot switch set as control switch number 4, and it is set as a momentary control switch. Okay, very important, momentary control switch. I've attached that to the control parameter. When I right click this, what we want to do is engage, well, we want to set up auto engage over here. So let's do this, say, as a medium speed. I'll leave the off value at 5% on there. And we're going to leave the attack and the release above 100 milliseconds. You can kind of tweak these to whatever you like. But the idea is that when I press this switch and I hold it, it's going to take, what, 148.9 milliseconds for that control switch to come up to its maximum value. And then when I release it, it's going to take 114 milliseconds to come back down. So it's kind of emulating that wah sweep. And we can play around with the damping parameter in a second, but I'll just give you an example of what this actually sounds like. I love this with lots and lots of distortion and delay though, so I'm going to play you all out with this one. If you have any further questions about how we attach the modifiers or how we set up auto engage with the control switch, let me know in the comments section below. However, I hope this will get you out of some trouble if you ever find yourself in the situation where you forget your expression pedal and you either want to set up an LFO style wah that you can activate with scenes or just by using a foot switch to turn the wah on and off, or you want to use this kind of control switch hack to kind of give you some tactile control. Until next week, have a good one, and I'll see you then.